Okay, this is a video review of these Arvok lens pouches, starting with how they come packaged, which is in this plastic bag, and what you can expect from them. And they're all separated off, so they just come as 4 individual items. The 3 there, and where's the... oh, there it is. And the cleaning pouch just there. So these are your 4 items. I'm kidding, of course. There is a 5th one. It's within one of the other pouches. Okay, and that is probably what you were expecting. So there they are, varying sizes and varying length. Let's just have a quick look and see. The shortest one around about 12 centimeters high. Next one around 14, then 18, and then 25. So there are your 4 lens pouches. I'm just going to really open the bigger ones up to show you what's inside, but it's the smaller ones we'll be dealing with in terms of putting a lens actually in them, seeing what they're like. They're all very well protected. You've got a good amount of what feels like padding or foam in there, so you've got protection. It's not absolutely solidly thick. If I were to measure it, here we go. I'm going to say, so we can squeeze it there, and you know that's coming out at ½ centimeter really. If I loosen it up, so it's maybe 0.8 of a centimeter, so it's not quite as thick as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot thicker than that, but it still feels like they'll be relatively well padded. Okay, the next one down, again very similar in size. Show you some of the features inside the lid. A little pouch there, little net pouch there, and of course you've got a fastening carabiner just there. It doesn't look like the strongest carabiner in the world. You won't be putting anything too heavy in here, I don't think, but bear that in mind in case you're wanting to attach all of these to your belt like Batman or something. So the larger pouches are for much bigger lenses, much more substantial and expensive lenses than I have to test with it at the minute, but the smaller pouches fit my lenses really nicely. This is a 50 to 250 millimeter lens, and this fits in here absolutely snugly. The second biggest one, no problem at all, and I really do feel like that is well protected. I feel quite happy to I'm not going to drop it from a much bigger height, but I feel quite happy to use it like that. Now, it does claim that these are waterproof. I am going to test that out, but not with my lens. Okay, but I will test that out in a moment. But yeah, fits in there really snugly. Do you want to see it again in there? It's actually got quite a bit of space around it, just there. Let's have a look at it in the smaller one. So as you can see, this smaller lens, this smaller pouch fits the lens in beautifully around the edges, but unfortunately it is just too long for this small pouch, so we're going to need to take that out. Let's try it out with a smaller lens. So this is with a much smaller 18 to 55 millimeter lens, and that is much snugger. It's a lovely tight fit around that one there. So this smallest pouch is for fairly basic SLR lenses that aren't particularly long in length as well as width, as girth, if you like. Yeah, not bad at all. I feel like that is very, very solidly protected. I've got no problems with the protection given there. I think if I had a very, very, very expensive lens, I might be looking at something perhaps a little bit more padded. Of course, you can pad it yourself if you want to. There's nothing stopping you from, as I put the lens in here, you notice there was quite a lot of space around the edges here, so there's nothing stopping you from padding it yourself if you want a little additional padding. Okay. And the final claim to test is the waterproof test. So we've got the smallest one just here, and what I've got here is a tissue. I'm not going to test it with a lens. That wouldn't be a clever idea, but I am going to test it with a tissue. So I'm just going to pop this tissue in here like that. I'm going to fasten it up, and we will see then if the tissue is affected by any water. Okay, and I'm going to simulate a little bit of rainfall on it using this here. Let's try it out. Here it goes. Okay, and we're getting rain all over it. Right. Okay, that's probably enough. Okay. Leave it for a moment. Right, there doesn't appear to be any more water on it. It does actually look like it's a little oleophobic, so could be, or, you know, waterphobic, whatever the word is. And, yep, that looks dry in there. Now, I say it looks dry in there. You can see a few little droplets of water there. Very, very tiny droplets, but by and large, that's not bad. Certainly the tissue itself, which is where the camera lens would be, that's very dry. There's no marks on there at all. Excellent. Okay, so I got to say that test, it seems to have passed. I don't know how good it will be under sustained water, and quite often with these, the zip is the bit that will let the water in. So let's just give it ultimate punishment. Let's pour this over everywhere, including that zip. Okay, it's not really what would happen if you were out in the rain. These aren't, you know, you're not going to go scuba diving with them. But let's see. If it's passed this test, I think it's done very, very well. Let's open it up. And, well, what we can see is this area here is damp. But the lens itself, this is where the lens would be. That is completely bone dry. I can't see a single droplet of water on that. And if you want to know what it would look like with a droplet of water on it, if I just put it on this puddle here, you'll see that instantly you would be able to tell that that had water on it, and it didn't have any water on it. So, does it pass the water resistance test? Yes, to an extent, obviously. It did get damp around the edges here, and I think if you were saturating it for a long time, I would still be concerned. But in terms of water resistance protection, it's got an amount of water resistance protection. So your lenses, I think, will be not badly protected. Don't know if it'll be perfect, but not bad. So, one of my final thoughts, well, £18 for 4 pouches works out just over £4 each, £4.50 each. I think that's pretty reasonable. You know, if your lens costs you upwards of £500-600, then maybe you might want to be spending a little more on the pouches. But for lenses like mine, which are, you know, maybe a few £100, yeah, these will do the job, I think, pretty well. These will do the job pretty well.
Hi. So today we're looking at some camera lenses protection, but I think you can use them in different ways as well. So let's see how many we have. So we have 4 of them. Let me just take something. To cut, because I know there's a label in here. Actually, do I need to label? So I just go, boom. Cool. We don't need to cut anything. So, let's see. Nice zipper. And there's a little space in here for like some extras. The inside, this is like a 500 liters water bottle. And that fits perfectly. So you can even use it, you know, for your water bottle. The little one, for example, you can use it to put like a speaker in, like a portable speaker, to prevent damage. It goes perfectly in. But yeah, you could use it obviously for what's intended for the lenses. But I kind of like these containers, and I think you can use them for various different. You can use them for various things. Like for example, this one, yeah. You can squeeze that in there, for extra protection, and it keeps your stuff hot or even longer, or cold. Yeah, so just to make an idea, so the only one that is a bit smaller in diameter is the little one. Otherwise all the others, they are quite wide. So I like the outside because it's supposed to be water repellent. There's a little handle on the side, and you have a little carabiner in here, 2 zippers, so you can zip from both sides. And I really like the fact that it's insulated on the inside, and also it has a compartment for your cable or for extra stuff that you use with your lenses. So yeah, there you have it. Large, medium, don't know, smaller and tiny. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys.
Well, I have here a pack of 4 camera lens holders. Just got these through. I do an awful lot of photography. I have lots of lenses, and these are perfect. They've got a nice sheen to the surface, and they're quite padded. You know, they're quite soft, kind of soft fabric that won't scratch lenses. And I've got a little pouch here, you know, maybe for a lens cap or filter or something, or a little tiny cloth. You know, this one was supplied. I mean, you can use your own as well. Good thing is it's got very well stitched ends and a belt loop. This will thread on my camera vest belt, or you can have a carabiner, I don't know how you say it, you know, to clip onto your bag, your belt, your, you know, it's like a tactical vest thing with lots of hooks. You can good thing is it's got a very good quality zip system. It's very easy to hold and zip. I mean, I'm doing it single-handed. I mean, you can get the gist of these. Very easy to zip, and once it's zipped up, it's good. And you know, I've got a smaller one here. These are good for small primes. And then you've got this one, which is good for like an 85mm, maybe even 100mm, depending on what type, manual or auto lens. And you've got a slightly bigger one that'll do maybe like a mid-range zoom or something, or a mid-range prime lens. And you've got this big one, which will be good for a 70 to 200, 210, or even maybe 200 or 300mm, obviously depending on girth and length of the lens, brand of lens used. And you know, these are good, and they'll protect the lenses very well, and I can't wait to use them. Fantastic. Frees up more space in my bag for other things when I can have these hanging from my bag or my waist, or even my tactical camera vest. Very happy with them. And even if it rains a bit, it's fine. They're protected. Awesome.
Hi, here's my review for the Arvok lens bag set. In the kit you get 4 separate pouches. You can get quite a nice lens cloth, which is a nice little touch. You get 4 different sizes. You can see here, 2 small, one's very small, maybe for a small prime, going up in size, medium size, and finally a large for a really big telephoto. I can't imagine myself using these, but let's have a look at this second to smallest one. It's got appears to have some nice ripstop nylon fabric. It's got 2 pieces in it rather than 1 piece, you know what I mean? So you can open it like this. Reasonably well padded, I've seen better. Fairly well padded inside, and in the top there's a small mesh pouch, possibly for maybe a spare lens cap or something like that. Don't know what else to put in there. There's a nice strap, appears to be very strong, pretty well made, good for attaching onto a bag using like a mole type connector. You do get a little carabiner sort of thing. It's pretty weak actually. It's a little freebie. I probably wouldn't rely on it, but it might be okay until you've got something a bit more reasonable. Overall, look at them all. They seem to be pretty good quality. Fabric strong, stitching looks good, well padded. Let's have a look. Retail price of this is £18 at the moment on Amazon. Certainly worth considering. Okay, thank you very much.